It's a new day on our better building world, so why not get started with episode 2? In between episodes, I have started to move the stuff that we have up here into a new location. And that stuff being the animal pens and all just the little stuff that we have doesn't really need to be up here because they're kind of eyesores. These are the things that you are going to see at the beginning of a new world, but once you start getting some builds in, they look very out of place. So as a temporary solution, down here under the terraforming, which, isn't completed yet, I have set up down here where I've been using to get all my dirt, a spot where all the bees are. So we can just come down here and still use all of the beehives to get honeycomb. Which this, we're definitely going to need to make a bigger bee farm because I go through honeycomb really quick. Not only that, but I'm also thinking that we need to make a spider farm because you need the exact amount of string as you do honeycomb, and currently we only have 2. I did enchant my iron sword, so we do have looting 1, but it still doesn't help a lot when trying to kill the spiders. If anything, it just gives us maybe a little bit more string, but also gives us a higher chance of getting spider eyes. So if we find a spider spawner at all, I'll definitely be interested in making that into a farm. And now, for today's project, I have to grab the horse. Because today's build is actually going to be nowhere near our house. I've been going around the area that we have to work with over here, and the idea that I have for today's episode, I feel would only really work over here. Because this side of the plains biome connects directly to the ocean. And I want to start getting some more enchantments and all that stuff on my gear. That way it'll be easier to gather materials and stuff like that for projects. And I don't want to really go for villagers in this world because I want to take things slow. So if I don't have to go with the villager route, I'm not going to. Which is why I think we should go for the route of fishing. So today's project is going to be transforming this area into maybe a cliff face and a fisher's hut with maybe a dock. And alongside that, we could probably also put in a beach line in here as well. I feel like that would fit this area, especially with the way that these already almost look like cliffs. So we could easily work that in. And then the part that's lower could be the way to get down to the beachfront. But before we get started on anything for this episode, I would just like to give a huge thank you for the overwhelming support on the first episode. I wasn't sure if this series was really going to take off, and the amount of support that I got was honestly really overwhelming, and I just can't appreciate it more. So, thank you. The first thing that I want to do today is honestly go mining. I haven't done any mining down in the strip mine that we made, and I want to be able to get some materials, mainly being some deep slate and some cobblestone. I know we aren't going to be able to get any cobblestone down there, but we can at least get some deep slate and also some minerals at the same time. And now the only problem is I actually don't remember where I made that mine. I know it's somewhere in this area in a cave. However, I might have blocked up the cave, and this area's already changed a lot since we first started here. I might have covered it. Let's check underneath here, because if it's anywhere, it's going to be on this side back here. And yes, I think, yep, it's right there. Oh, hello there. I do need the bones, so I'm actually going to fight this battle. Well, that was actually really easy. That might have been because my sword had smite too, so I was definitely dealing more damage to them than you normally would. Alright, and here we are down all the way at the bottom, so I'm just going to start a strip mine and probably go till my inventory gets full. Going back to the need for needing string, I did find a mine shaft, and this is actually going to be very beneficial because there are cobwebs in here, and I can use this to get some more string. And well, it's also good for finding diamonds. Oh, I actually found one! I did not think we were going to find one of these things. And now if only I don't die in the process here. And did we get anything good? We got some music discs and some zombies. Don't tell me there are 2 spawners here. No, they just spawned. The mining operation was quite successful, as you see in this barrel. Our diamonds went up by a lot. Not that it really matters, because I'm not going to do much with those diamonds just yet, but our deep slate count did go up by a lot as well. because for today's terraforming project, deep slate is going to be something that I want to use. And it's not only deep slate, there's a couple other different shadow blocks that I want to use for today's project. Some of the stuff we already have, like mud, but this obviously is not going to be enough. I'll need to go out and get a little bit more mud. But the other thing that we're going to need is smooth basalt. And in order to get that basalt, that means we have to go into the nether. And also go to one of the most dangerous biomes in there. But first, let me get some honey. I don't have a sword anymore, so I have to kill you with my axe. My sword literally just broke before starting this clip. Thinking we'll just grab obsidian from the same spot that we grabbed the obsidian from the enchant table down here at the bottom of the mine. And I should totally put some stairs in this mine as well, because going down is fine, but coming up is a real big pain. And here we are. Let's get some obsidian. And there we go. All 10 obsidian, and now we get to go all the way back up again. Putting stairs on that is definitely the next thing I'm doing. And we have more honey. Now, nether portals are very ugly. So, down here, like I said, we're putting all of our farms. We might as well put the portal down here as well. And more honeycomb. Just grab some blocks here, and I think I'm honestly just going to put it right here. All right, and we will light it, and well, let's see where this goes. I'm hoping for a decent spawn for the nether. And it's looking like the middle of a basalt delta and a warp forest. Honestly, I'll take that. Because not only do we now have access to quartz, but that means we also have the warped wood now, and more importantly, for what we need today, the basalt. Which, this being right next to the portal, is going to be highly beneficial. And a little part of me wants to just explore around a little bit. Maybe there's something interesting about our nether spawn. I forgot to bring gold though, so maybe we won't be exploring as much in here. But I do want to grab a little bit of this wood, just for safekeeping. Maybe a little bit of shroom lights as well. You never know, we might need them. And this quartz is always going to be a really good source of experience. Enough, I think I'm just going to try to get to level 30 real quick so we can just do another level 30 enchant. And level 30. All right, let's go home. With this level 30, I now have to decide what we want to put an enchant on. Now, it definitely would be nice to have another pickaxe with Unbreaking 3 because currently we only have one. But I do want to see what a book is going to get us. But I'm just going to need a little bit of you. Nope, wait, a little bit of you. Wow, took 4 cows just to get a little bit of leather. All right, for a book, we're going to get power 4. Not really in the mood to make a bow right now, so I'm just going to save this in here. Which, speaking of this other book right here, I did a level 30 enchant on a book, and we did get Sweeping Edge 3, Fire Protection 3, and Efficiency 4. We're definitely going to be probably either using this for the Efficiency 4 to upgrade a tool to Efficiency 5, or for Sweeping Edge 3. And you know what? I am thinking, let's try a sword. Because if we can get a decent sword enchant, that'll be nice, but it's just Unbreaking 3. Do we still try it anyway? You know what? Let's do it. All right, Unbreaking 3 on just the sword. Let's see. And actually, that's not bad. That is something that I will definitely take. I do wish we had Looting 3, but we can get that later. But we can't put the Sweeping Edge 3 on this sword, but I honestly want to use this for Efficiency 5. Which, speaking of, we could put it on this pickaxe. Coming back over to the water over here, I have come up with a different plan for how to do our cliff face. Instead of making it all the way over there, I want to do it over here so we can also work in this hill here and then maybe something there. I want a better way to connect this side of the water and that side over there. Originally, I was thinking like some tall cliffs with a land bridge in the middle, but then I realized that with that terraforming over there, it was going to be hard to connect the two together. So I have come up with a little bit of a different plan, and I've brought some blocks over here so we can get a rough idea of how we want to do this. So I'm going to start off with just some sand here, because we are definitely going to have an actual sandy beach on this. I'm using some slabs to just smoothen it out a little bit. And then starting from right here, we're going to use a mixture of tough, cobbled deep slate, and this kind of deep slate, like the kind of top of the deep slate, because I realized I placed this in the wrong order, but if I place this like this is lighter than this, so it just kind of works out. And I'm realizing I placed that, and now if I break it, that's just going to become cobbled. We need Silk Touch bad. We are just going to get an idea here, where the spots where it gets dark, like right here, is where we're going to place in some deep slate and some cobbled deep slate. This block right here is going to be annoying to place, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. And then the idea is that we're going to go up a bit with the tuff, transition over to some cobblestone and going out a little bit, and then ending it off with some stone into some andesite for a highlight, where it's going to look something like this. It's going to go up, out, and then back in which at the top we'll make some stone structures, and right up there is going to be where the actual grassland is going to be. Let me build out this sample real quick so we can get an idea of what we're doing here. I don't have a boat on me, so I have to swim in the water just to be able to take a look at what we've got here. This is only just a little snippet of the entire cliff face that's going to be going along this shoreline, but I think this works. I did also add in some pale moss in as well, kind of in the middle, just to ease in that transition from all the way back here. And that dirt that's up on top will be grass eventually, or who knows, I might even make it moss. Although, I am realizing that this, without Silk Touch, is making me lose a lot of the deep slate and a lot of the stone. And when it comes to XP, we don't have a really good way of getting it. But we did find that spider farm a little bit ago, and we do have the skeleton spawner that's almost right underneath where the house is, but I feel like the spider farm might be a little more beneficial just for right now, because we can get the string. So I'm going to clean up my inventory here and just see if it's going to be difficult at all for us to build up that farm without the need of anything special. And when I mean anything special, I mean specifically any big enchants. Okay, this actually was not bad at all. This is all we need to make a spider farm. But let's see if I can find this thing again by going down into our strip mines. Look at me go. I left myself a little torch arrow that leads me right to the spawner. Oh, this is nice. And it's a good thing that we have efficiency 4 because it would be a little annoying to have to break all this out. But all right, let's get to work here. Look at all the little spider legs. I am noticing one flaw that I already have with this farm is that I have knockback on my sword, which is knocking them back into the farm and is making them getting stuck on the ceiling above the spawner, which then results in some losses of the spiders. Because if I go into free cam here, we can see we have a lot of random drops that are up here at the top just waiting to be despawned. So we are definitely going to need a different sword, maybe even one with Bane of Arthropods on it, because then we'll kill the spiders even faster. But I mean, hey, we were already able to get over a stack of string, which is awesome. I'm also level 30, so I'm going to head back and let's see what we can do for an enchant. Okay, we have 3 options here. Sharpness 4 on the sword, efficiency 4, and also efficiency 4. I kind of want to go for the shovel here because if we get anything else with it, that's going to make it a pretty good shovel. And it's looking like, there we go, that is exactly what I was talking about. This shovel is going to make it so much easier to do stuff. Mainly because now we can just go like that. Being able to insta-mine the blocks is going to make life so much easier. Now the only thing that I need is going to be Silk Touch on the pickaxe. And you know what? I think I'm going to create a second enchant table setup over at the spider farm so that way we don't need to come back over here in order to enchant. Luckily, if I just breed up these cows, we will have plenty to do so. Enchant table with a grindstone and a crafting table is all set up down here, and I have been busy AFKing at this farm. As you see, we have a nice amount of string now and a bunch of other spider eyes and a little bit of bones and arrows as well, because spider jockey is actually spawning here as well. But the reason why I have 2 swords is because one of them is the one with sharpness 4 and the other one is the one with Bane of Arthropods 2. This is the only enchant that I was able to get with Bane of Arthropods, and you know what? It 2-hits spiders, so it works. But as you see, I've been also working on some other gear. Right here, I have a Silk Touch Efficiency 3 pickaxe, which we could combine with the other ones that we currently have to maybe make a better one. And then I have some armor here that we could use. I got some fire protection, normal protection, and then just some stuff that we can combine, including this axe, which will end up coming out with an Efficiency 4 Silk Touch Unbreaking 3 axe. So basically exactly what we have here on the shovel. I have been trying to just get a few extra levels just in case we need it when it comes to combining this stuff together, because I didn't exactly bring an anvil over with me to this area, and I haven't been back to the house because I'm going to be honest, it takes a good 5-10 minutes just to get back over there. But I guess it's time to make that trip over. So if you ever wonder what happens when you're AFK at your spider farm, well, you die. I knew this in the back of my mind before I walked away from my computer, but to be honest, I thought with what I was going to be doing, I was going to be fast enough to get back before I died, because it takes a little while before that happens. But this means this is now the first death in the series, and now I just have to hope and pray that all my stuff is still over there. Now, it is especially a good thing that I am not playing on hardcore mode, because, well, that would be the end of the Better Building world, and it's only episode 2. Hopefully everything in the game kind of froze when we were AFK, that way everything should still be there, I'm hoping. Now, the reason why I was AFK was actually because when I was trying to use the anvil to combine everything, I realized I still needed 19 levels in order to combine, I think, the boots. And I noticed that I had a better level 30 enchant on the pickaxe, so I was just trying to get back up to level 30 so I could do the enchant. Well, now I'm at level 0. And I've also just noticed I'm using the wrong skin. I have no idea how long I have been using the wrong one, but I'm gonna fix that when we're done here. Ow, that's not good. That is not good at all. I was just trying to get up here. Yes, my stuff is still here. Oh, thank you. Be able to eat my food. I didn't even realize that put me down to 1 heart. Whew, all right. Oh, and my sword broke too, I think. Either it broke or I don't even know. Either way, I need to get back up to level 30 again so I can be done with these enchants. And so I can also fix my skin. XP is back up, and must I say, spiders don't actually give a lot of XP. Because if I go in here, I have killed 1,748 spiders just to get all this gear. And, well, we do have a lot of string, which is very nice, and I'm definitely going to be taking some of this back, because we can also turn this into wool as well. And you know what? Let's take a stack of spider eyes, too. I just got back as the sun was coming up, and must I say, that's really peaceful. Did I just wait for the sun to go all the way back up? Yes. Yes, I did. But all right, combining everything. That's 19 levels, so we're now able to do that. And I want to just see if I am able to also combine this as well. So now we have Silk Touch and Efficiency 5. It would be nice to also have Unbreaking on here, but we'll be able to add that later on. For right now, we're back to having a Silk Touch pickaxe, and we are having full enchanted diamond armor. You know, I've been having issues getting my recording set up for this clip because I just recently changed some of my encoder settings, and now that I have it actually working, it started raining. Why does Minecraft just know when you want to record? But now that we have our armor and our tools and we are set to go when it comes to collecting all of the stone and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and see what I can get after a couple hours of just mining various different materials, and we're gonna see how much of this cliff face we can do. And all right, material gathering has been completed, and we really need Unbreaking because this pickaxe is again down to 1 durability. I am going through these Silk Touch pickaxes like crazy to the point that during this build, I'm gonna have to use this pickaxe here, which is just Silk Touch. However, we have a lot of cobblestone, a lot of stone, and we have a lot of andesite, tuff, and all the deep slate. Basically, everything that we're going to need here. If anything, the only thing that we don't have a lot of right now is going to be dirt, but that is okay. I'm thinking also we might do a mix of dirt and moss for this. Not 100% sure yet, but I mean, we have this pickaxe now, so we can really just do anything we want. Excuse me, sir, but you are supposed to be burning right now. You cannot be doing this. Wow, you have punch on your bow. That's making it really hard to hit you. There we go. But anyways, we are going to get started on the cliff face here and just extend it going down and then extend it going this way a little bit as well. That way we can get started on our Fisher's Hut build. And there we go. We have ourselves the cliffs that we are going to be using kind of basically as our backdrop over here. Because I am thinking that the fisher's hut is going to probably be located somewhere in this general vicinity. Because that way you can fish right here and you have the cliffs to look at on the right. And then maybe down the line we'll do some terraforming on the other side over there. That poor squid. Sir, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. Get back in there. Just get in there. Get back in there. No. Get back in there. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. But yeah, the cliffs are all done right here, except if we come to this side, you kind of get the underneath of it. Definitely need to take the grass that goes up here and just push it down and just have like a slow decrease going down. Because, well, this is ugly. I don't want to see the underneath of this, and I don't want to see that I've made mob spawners and everything. So we're going to pretend like that guy isn't there. And I'm going to smoothen this out. This land looks so much better now that we're not seeing the back of a cliff face here. And it's almost too smooth. If we go into a little cheaty cam here and go up into the sky, you can see that this area over here looks a lot different than this. But that is mainly because this area has all the grass and the tall grass and some flowers as well. And that is what is missing from over here. However, it is not easy for me to put the grass over here because our shears, we have a very low iron supply right now. And 2, we don't have a lot of bones. But while I was down in this cave underneath our house mining up the andesite for the cliffs, I found this right here next to a big andesite patch, which is a skeleton spawner. I'm not really in the mood to transform this one right now, so this will probably be a next episode project. So we're going to be finalizing those cliffs over there in the next episode. Or at least just the top half of it. And now you may be wondering why we're not going to be using the skeleton spawner that I found that's basically right underneath our cow pasture. And that is mainly because it is just way too close to the surface. I don't want to have to do a ton of terraforming just to make a simple little mob spawner. Excuse me, Mr. Zombie. You need to be quiet. I'm trying to record. As you see, I have some copper laid out up here, and that is because I am getting ready to build our fisherman's hut right down there. And if we just come inside the house here, inside this chest, I have compiled everything that we're going to need for the fisherman's hut. Oh, well, almost everything. We are missing a couple things, being mainly that copper, and well, that's actually just it, the copper. Which means I am very much comfortable with getting started on this build now, because by the time we get to doing all the copper, it should be oxidized, because we only need it to go one stage. So I guess without further ado, let's make another build. Oh, wait, but first, thank you very much. Okay, now let's get started. I went ahead and threw on shaders for this build because even though my computer hates it when I put shaders on, I just couldn't not look at this build with shaders because I love this view specifically, and if this looks familiar, it's because I probably used it for the thumbnail of this video. But I have it set up just so if we're down here on the dock doing some fishing, we get to look out at the water and see our new cliff face. And this is basically all that there is to the build, because if I go inside, well, there's nothing. And as you see, the copper is still not fully oxidized here. And that is because, well, I think I made the build a little too fast. By the time that I was done, only like one more piece of copper was oxidized. But it's fine. It's fine. And I've got this tree to go here on the side of the build, which is basically just a miniature version of the tree that we have over by the house. And with this tree specifically, I love the new leaves that fall down from the trees. It just looks so good with this. So now all we need is a fishing rod to be able to fish at the end of this dock. We have been, well, very successful in this video. One of those things being all of this shiny new blue enchanted armor. Of course, the spider farm, which I don't feel like walking over to because it is just so obscenely far away. But most importantly, the build of the episode being our fishing hut and our cliff face. For this episode, I'm very happy with what we were able to accomplish. And in the next episode, I want to start the transition point in between this area and our house over there by maybe putting some builds, maybe working on some more of the terraforming in this area, and maybe fixing that floating tree over there. And I just want to thank you all again for the amazing support on the first episode. You guys are awesome. But I hope you guys have a good day or night or whatever it is right now. And I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.